Oh. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I have to think a bit about that. Is Annie cooking?
Anything that he doesn't want? I think the rest is fine. Okay, let's go.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed.
Actually, before we do that, let's
that
go
it
here.
didn't work
Let's
for
clear
him.
Red. Let's clear a red.
I feel like I failed him a bit. Ooh. Something is clicking for
Oh,
Annie.
they're doing it.
I think Guzu waited too long to play AM. But I could have maybe suggested that earlier. And maybe Pala Rifle's just the right build for him. Maybe that's wrong. You know, I didn't fully even realize it was Tuesday today. I thought it was Monday. Yeah, I know everyone's been suggesting it to him, and initially I agreed with Guzu that he should ignore everyone saying play this other build, because it reminded me a lot of when I was playing. I would be playing like a hero
Exactly sure why.
in Dota 2. It's like a hero that I know well, and then I lose, and then people say you should play Shadow Demon instead. And I've never played Shadow Demon outside of the one demo game I played like 10 months ago. And then I'm like, yo, my problem is I'm losing, yes.
How much gold do we have left?
But when I play Shadow Demon, I also lose. It's not a draft pick. I don't know how to play that hero at all, so I'll lose because of other reasons. And then, like, if you're constantly fending off attacks like that, like you're doing it wrong, you need to play this other hero instead, you actually start double downing, even though you weren't that double downing on it in the first place. Like a couple of subtle denials where you're like, no, I'm just gonna do this other thing. I'm gonna go like Hoodwink. I'm not gonna go Shadow Demon. I've never played him. I think this is right for me right now. Next time you lose, someone will say again, you should play Shadow Demon. And eventually you start... you're not like super stubborn about it, but you're just confident. But then eventually you to yourself start seeming stubborn. Oh, nice. Dispels. And then... I think that's kind of what happened maybe with Tyler and control groups a little bit as well. Like partially it's the student's inability to reproduce the thing that the coach wants. Partially it's like you've already fended off suggestions about that many times for good reasons at the time. And eventually it's become your religion.
You have a target?
And that's kind of what happened here with Guzu. He could switch to Archmage earlier. He's killing our own water elemental. No. Annie, no. What did it do to you? Guess she was thirsty. Tyler doing very good recently in early game until he builds more than 12 units. Yeah, his early game is really strong. Have you watched Annie Sunglitters? No, I haven't.
Need to go here.
I feel like I should have seen this coming.
I don't think I really have a chance here.
Yeah, I'm gonna train Sunglitter soon. I just need a... I need a cleanser myself.
Is he immune?
I don't get how this is on Grubby. I feel
Not
like
huge die,
I could
no.
potentially... If I had been lower MMR, I would maybe know. Like, you could see how hard it was for me to even play the game on Melting
This tower
Valley.
is too rough.
You play dirty? Yes. No, I didn't play dirty. Everything is with good intentions. Players can make mistakes. I can make mistakes. I've poured my soul into coaching all 8 of them the last 2 weeks. And I keep trying to come up with cool, like, coaching plans that help them at the time. I have so much to tell them, but I can't tell them too much because they won't be able to retain all of it. But there's so much they don't know. Some of it relevant now, some of it not.
What is this, by the
So
way?
when I look at yo, thank you for the raid, Guzu. Now I can't talk about you anymore. Can you not listen for a sec?
This is not
Alright, so
good.
about
That-
sun glitters. I think
I don't think I
sometimes
can,
when I see my students
do this.
improve, I get so impressed with what they're doing that I forget how long it takes them to get there,
I'm getting healers.
or that they have like asymmetric skill improvement.
I'm getting healers.
Like they'll get really good at one thing but not very good at the other, and then I want to help them get good at the other, and then they may not be ready for it. And realistically, I'm condensing years or decades of knowledge, and I'm trying to condense it
Oh,
into
here's
a
the
short time.
Perfect.
Sometimes I try to like help to create a
Oh,
simple,
I don't have
followable
enough.
strategy, like mass griffins for sun glitters, and she ends up hating it. The griffins. But also,
What up?
there is like personal study every player can and should do, which is partially studying games
I
and
have to
partially
go back.
spamming games. Like they need the experience. I think it makes it oh, she didn't need to TP there, right? She's already at home.
Did the
But I
priest
feel
die?
extra bad with Guzu
I have no priest left?
because he's like too nice in a way. So let's say if Guzu felt confident that he didn't want to start a new hero 3 days before the tournament, he would still not say it to me
Oh!
because he put his trust in me. That's what hurt.
I don't know, I'm so lost this game.
Guzu's not nice. He's nice, but look, let's talk about the word nice. Nobody should be nice all the time.
It's so weird because I felt like at the beginning it was okay, but then
The word is very difficult to
don't know.
quantify. Nobody should be nice all the time. If you're nice all the time, you never stand up for yourself. So I hope he's not nice sometimes, you know what I mean? He's friendly and trusting to me. Can I say that? Like instead of generalizing.
flickers are a lot of dispel.
He's friendly and trusting to me, which means if I suggest a coaching plan, he goes with it. Whereas like Tyler, he's not as friendly and trusting with
Dispel
me.
the mages?
We still respect
What
each other.
goes on the mages?
So if he thinks something is a bad idea, he's going to tell me. And then I don't feel as bad either if he's on board with the plan, because I know if he really isn't, then he's going to tell me to stuff it. Agreeable, disagreeable, yeah. You seem nice all the time. No, I'm not nice all the time. Not at all. Luckily. Nice all the time. Don't you remember
There are ranged skeletons.
Yo! Don't you remember Katy Perry's immortal words?
Left side necromancer next to statues.
I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Kuzu, when he learns something new, is too harsh on himself at first. He wants to perfect it instantly. It takes a bit of time to click. Yeah, at
You
least
just
it
tell
is
the
true because it
casters
was 3 days before. It was 3 days before the tournament. And I think that added a lot of pressure. And I think also I am underestimating how much pressure all of them are feeling. I also felt a lot of pressure when I was competing. But
You mean these guys?
I mean, yeah, it's a long time ago, and I don't feel as much pressure even when I compete now. But it might be for some of them the first time they compete in a high skill game competition against others.
You're kind of new to coaching.
As well.
I think it's fine. You always learn new teachings methods as you go on. It's a skill that's not easy to pick up in a few weeks. Also, the time crunch is not easy for the players to learn the whole game in a few weeks either. True? Or am I overthinking this?
I think you're probably right, yeah. I think you're right. And what's also a little hard for me is that I'm coaching 8 at the same time. And I'm trying to watch hours and hours of everyone's VODs and streams.
Would the dispel be
and trying to think for each of their 8 different MMR and race. I'm coaching 4 races. And I'm coaching like 3 different MMR ranges. Guzu Dindi Ampi, Tyler Soda, and maybe Geronimo, and then Annie and Sun. So there's like different MMR range, 4 different races. I'm trying to play to actualize my info to check if it's rotten or not. So I'm playing the coaching builds that I give them so I can test whether they're good. I watch hours of all of their content, all 8.
So which ones are necromancers?
Yeah, well, but I'm allowed to make mistakes too.
These guys with the horns?
Right? The players are allowed to make mistakes, so am I.
Is this necromancer?
So let's move on. It's all good. Guzu didn't blame me. He lost 1 day of not playing Pala Rifle. He still has 2 days of playing Pala Rifle and then 2 more.
The inventory is full. Who the fuck cares? Keep farming.
I care.
Oh, he's coming.
Alright, I think Sun wants to do some VOD review.